next, where local news comes first, we're looking into dual credit and how high school students are juggling both high school and college courses. Plus an epidemic that's hitting schools across the country. And MaKenna is working on your 7-day forecast.
John, our forecast is looking sunny, but on Sunday there's a slight chance of rain. I'll explain coming up.
Channel 3 News at 6 begins right now.
This newscast is brought to you by the Silver Valley Veterans Raffle.
Broadcasting from the Channel 3 studio in downtown Wallace, this is Channel 3 News at 6.
Good evening and thanks for tuning in tonight. I'm John Webb. An epidemic is hitting schools across the country, and it's not the typical disease outbreak. It's a smoking device. Our Kinley Fry looks into Ecigs and their effects on teens around the country and here locally.
Ecigs, the new tasty epidemic. According to the FDA, teenagers can buy Ecigs online. However, they plan to ban online sales in the near future. An e-cig is a cigarette-shaped device containing nicotine base and liquid that is vaporized and inhaled. Wallace's principal, Christopher Lund, has some info on how e-cigs are affecting the high school.
I do know that we have our staff is aware of e-cigarettes, what they look like, how big they are. They're making them now where they're as big as a USB drive, and students can hide them pretty easily. I do think, looking at the statistics coming from the FDA, and there's been I think a 30% increase, 75% increase in sales in the last 30 days. And that's when most schools have started here in the last 30 days. So maybe kids are coming back to school and seeing their friends do it. And that's why they've seen the increase in sales, 75% increase.
Reporting in the Channel 3 studio, I'm Kinley Fry.
Kinley, thank you. If you watched KREM 2 News on Friday the 21st, you probably saw your local Wallace Miners on the air. Chief Meteorologist Tom Sherry was at the football field for Tom's Tailgate Party, a segment in which Sherry broadcasts from local high school games.
Again, it's a lot of fun. The kids have tons of energy and they're fun to be around, and they're funny and they're smart and they're irreverent and they're just the best of the best. And I really, really have a good time. And I get to go into a lot of communities outside of Spokane, and that also is part of the best part of it.
The 10-year-old program, which Tom started, is not aimed at the football game, but rather the kids who are in the stands.
To be real honest, sometimes we don't head out to a smaller community, unless something bad happened, or there's an elite athlete. And I thought that's crazy because, that doesn't happen very often. So let's head out and just, celebrate these kids and these communities.
The last time Tom was in Wallace was about 5 years ago. As you know, college courses can be very rigorous, let alone taking them while in high school. Well, that's what many students are doing today, and our Mason Chafee is looking into the aspects of dual credit. Mason, good evening.
Good evening, John. Wallace High School is offering dual credit classes where you can earn high school and college credits. If you are planning on going to college, dual credits are recommended.
I think if you are planning to go to college, it's not a bad idea. They are paid for, and you also get to see what an online class would be like in college and have some experience before you get there.
To take these classes, you must be at least 16 and have a 3.0 high school GPA, and advising by the school counselor, Mrs. Russell. No payment is required. Reporting from the Channel 3 studio, I'm Mason Chafee.
Mason, thank you. A sports bar and grill is still closed after a fire ignited in their basement early in the morning on September 17th. Shoshone County Fire District Number 2 responded to the scene and discovered heavy smoke emerging from the building. Chief Mark Ahmet says consumable items like boxes, to-go containers, and cups were the main fueling source. There is heavy smoke damage throughout the building. On Tuesday the 25th, local residents had the opportunity to learn how to save a life. Shoshone County Fire District Number 1 hosted another free CPR course. Matthew Bodemer, a new firefighter to the station, hosted the night's course. They discussed everything from the Good Samaritan law to ratios of compression to breath.
We focused mostly on compressions only CPR and early defibrillation with an AED.
The course was the biggest it's ever been. They had around 15 participants, and the fire hall even had to pull out more chairs. Bodemer says they plan to do more of these courses, but they want to take it a step further.
We're actually trying, through our nonprofit, we're trying to get AEDs placed up throughout Wallace and throughout our district. We're currently looking for grants and donations and stuff like that because early defibrillation is just key.
Straight ahead after the break, Idaho prisons are overcrowded. Where we're sending our inmates. Plus, Ryan Perno has your sports highlights. Then details on a soil shop in Smelterville. All those stories plus much more ahead here on Channel 3 News at 6.
No matter who you are, as Idahoans, we share two things in common. Every day, the future of our state attends an education system outranked by 47 other states. And we make lower average weekly wages than our counterparts in 49 other states. Make education the #1 priority. Make a strong Idaho a reality. Seek the facts at don'tfailidaho.org.
This edition of the news is brought to you by the Silver Valley Veterans Raffle.
Welcome back. A soil shop was hosted at the Shoshone Medical Fitness Center on September 15th, and according to Barb Miller, director at the Silver Valley Research Center, it was a successful event. 22 local residents brought their soil in for a free screening. The Panhandle Health District is testing the soil and should have results by the end of this week. The event also had a resource table. They stressed the importance of checking your garden soil. Miller tells us that if your garden obtains any amount of lead, you could be possibly consuming those harmful elements. They plan to host more soil shops in the future. Ryan Perno is over in the Channel 3 Sports Center with your sports update. Ryan.
I'm Ryan Perno, your Channel 3 sports anchor, bringing you next week's sports updates. Volleyball games next Thursday. We got Kellogg High School at Priest River at 7 p.m. Mullen at Lakeside at 6. Wallace High School versus Clark Fork at home. JV starts at 5:30, varsity at 7. Friday football games next week. We got Kellogg High School versus Bonners Ferry, 7 p.m. at home. And then Wallace at Troy at 6 p.m. I'm Ryan Perno, signing off.
Ryan, thank you. Weather Commander MaKenna Merrick has your 7-day forecast. MaKenna.
Thanks, John. Looking at our Doppler radar, we have clear skies over the inland northwest. And looking at the western Montana area, we have chilly temperatures. Now looking at our 7-day forecast, Friday and Saturday are going to be mostly sunny. Then for Sunday, we have a 30% chance of showers. For the rest of the week, we're looking at sunny skies. Back to you, John.
MaKenna Merrick, thank you. Officials from the Idaho Department of Corrections said they have moved another 150 inmates to a prison in Texas because there aren't enough prison beds in Idaho.
When we don't have beds in our own system, or if there's not enough beds in the county jails here in Idaho, we have to move them someplace.
KIVI-TV reports the male inmates arrived at the Eagle Pass Correctional Facility in Eagle Pass, Texas on Wednesday. The prison is operated by private prison company GEO Group. According to officials, Idaho is leasing the entire facility. Idaho has been using out-of-state prisons to deal with local overcrowding for years. The state expects to have about 700 inmates at out-of-state facilities by November 1st. In the good news tonight, identical twin sisters have given birth to baby boys in the same hospital and on the same day. The moment they found out they were both pregnant was even more special because sisters Jalen Crawford and Janelle Leopoldo had both struggled with infertility. Finally, when both of them got pregnant, Leopoldo would fly from California to Arizona to attend doctor's appointments together with her sister. When she was 6 weeks from her due date, she moved to Arizona. They both delivered their baby boys on June 18th, Crawford in the morning and Leopoldo a few hours later. They were even given recovery rooms next to each other. Now the twins' incredible bond is being passed down to their sons, Bryce and Jace. How fun. That's the 6 o'clock news for tonight. I'm John Webb, and for all of us here at Channel 3 News, have a great night.